Hi, I'm Amelia Wilcox, and I am the founder and CEO at Navati. Today, we're going to be talking about how to demystify the ROI around your well-being programs. This is something I hear about all the time. It's a big challenge, especially in HR, where you're seeing the value and hearing the feedback from your employees every day about the investments that you're making into their well-being. But then how do you translate that into the cold hard numbers that the C-suite need to justify the expense? No matter what business you're in, it's always critical to measure the return on investment. And we're all in businesses trying to solve different problems. But at the end of the day, a business has to make money. And those decisions of what to invest in and what not to invest in are often driven by the ability to get a return for the company on those dollars. Well, I have good news. It is possible to measure the ROI on your wellness initiatives. So first, why does it matter that there's an ROI on your well-being initiatives? Maybe you just want to be super nice to employees. You want to make them happy. A lot of people get into HR because they like people. They like relationships. They like helping people. That is awesome. And you're exactly where you need to be. But it is important to be able to prove that ROI, as I mentioned, because in a business, they have to be able to justify the spend. And to justify the spend, they have to be able to see what it's affecting and how much and in what way. Now, just think, you in HR having the data that you need to look like a superstar, going into that executive boardroom and saying, here is where I have decided to spend our budget. And here are the results that we're getting, and here is how it's benefiting the company. At Navati, that is our goal, to arm you to look like a superstar to the executive team, to give you the ammunition you need to show them what is working and translate that into real business outcomes for the company. So here are just a few of the key metrics to track at your organization. Number one, employee absenteeism. This is a super simple metric to track, and most of your HRIS systems will track this for you if you're using them for your paid time off tracking. Typically, you're going to want to measure those quarterly and at the end of the first 12 months to be able to measure if there has been a significant impact on the number, frequency, duration of employee absenteeisms. Metric number two, health insurance costs. Now, this one can be kind of tricky because of HIPAA and things like that, but you can pull your broker into this and they can run a lot of these numbers for you. So again, being able to take at the individual level and at the aggregate level, the amount of healthcare expenses around specifically mental health, if you're talking about a platform like ours, that is a mental health initiative, or whatever well-being initiatives that you have in place, what effect you think they should have on healthcare costs. Now, those healthcare costs could show up in a case like ours as straight clinical therapy sessions through the insurance, and if those are going up or down, but it could also have other effects. And those effects on health insurance, from all the studies that have been done, can't really see an effect until 12 to 18 months after a new initiative has been put in place. That is what the research shows. And that's because you will see employees start to engage with something, and it's going to take about 18 months before that converts into a lower expenditure on the healthcare side. And that's just what we've seen from all of the studies and all the data that is out there. Number three, presenteeism, or being at work and not really being at work. So one of the best ways we've seen this tracked is really a self-reported anonymous survey where employees can measure basically on a scale of 1 to 10 how engaged and how present they are in their current roles. And again, this is a great number to track quarterly and to track at the end of each year. Number 4, employee retention. This is one of my favorites because this is something that Navati has a very direct effect on, and I love to talk about it. But employee retention is simple to measure. You're simply looking at the employee turnover rates before implementing a program and the employee turnover rates after implementing a program. This is best measured annually. And you can even go a step further if you're implementing a specific tool or benefit or resource to measure the individual populations who are accessing that tool or resource against the rest of your team. And so, for instance, with the Navati platform, on average, we're seeing 8 times the employee retention for the employees that use Navati at a given company versus the employees who do not engage, because we can track employees being onboarded, employees being offboarded, and put them into those 2 buckets and look at the retention rates in each bucket. So those are a couple different ways you can measure retention, either as an organization as a whole, from before implementing a benefit to after, or within individual populations as well, to see if it's having an effect on individuals. Metric number 5, employee engagement. This is an elusive metric that is difficult for most people to be able to effectively measure, but this can also be measured on a self-reported scale where employees are reporting on a cadence, whether that's quarterly or annually, how engaged they are feeling at work and with their employer. And finally, number 6 is productivity levels. Now, this is going to look different in every organization for every role. So maybe in engineering, that's story points delivered and released, and maybe in support, that's going to look like the number of tickets and the efficiency metrics that you're seeing. But whatever that is and whatever that looks like for each department and each role, they're going to have their own productivity metrics, and you want to measure those again before and after and during quarterly, if possible, a new benefit launch or a new tool or resource that you're providing. So now you've got these metrics you're tracking. So how do you turn that into an ROI calculation? Well, it's going to depend on which metric you're tracking, but generally, let's just say employee retention, for instance. The statistics show that to replace an employee who leaves, it costs 1 to 1.5 times their annual salary. So whether that is a busser at a restaurant or an engineer at a software company, we should be able to say, okay, this person's salary is X dollars. You could go on the conservative end and do a 1x. Maybe that salary is $60,000. You saved 3 jobs this year because your retention rate went down by this much. Those 3 jobs were $60,000 each. Then you're able to go back to the C-level staff and say, hey guys, I saved us 3 jobs. That's $180,000 this year. This program pays for itself, right? So that's one example. If you're looking at something else like productivity, again, that's pretty easy to measure. If you're able to either improve efficiency and produce more that you can translate into dollars, or on the flip side of that, improving efficiency to reduce hours needed or reduced FTEs, that's also another way to look at cost savings. But either way, efficiency and productivity metrics can be translated directly into dollars by taking that basically times the annual salary of whatever FTEs you're eliminating or whatever sales are being generated from a higher efficiency number. And we're looking at something like healthcare costs. That's pretty straightforward. Hey guys, before we were spending $1 million on healthcare costs. This year we only spent $900,000. That's $100,000 savings. We believe it's because of this that we have implemented, and that justifies the cost of the program. So whatever metrics you're tracking, whichever outcomes you're looking for, there is a formula and there is a way to turn that into a real ROI metric. Throw those up on a slide, put that in front of the C-level team, and then voila, you are able to justify solid ROI based on data and numbers back to your team to justify the spend. Here at Navati, we think data is key. We provide our customers with a real-time dashboard where they can track employee engagement. They can track sessions that have occurred, sessions that are coming in the past. They can see where employees are spending their time, and it can help inform what other programs and tools and trainings and workshops to put into place for their employees. And so our goal is to partner with our customers and to help them put this data together. We actually help them put together the slides for their team to be able to present the ROI on the Navati program that they implement. So in conclusion, being able to demonstrate ROI is critical, and being able to get the support of the C-suite that you need to justify the programs and benefits that you know your employees need. And here at Navati, we work with our customers to help you do that. Let me know if we can help you in any way. We would love to work with you.